Hey YouTube, welcome back to WJ's World. Yep, you're reading that headline correct. Amazon banned me last night when I went to go pick up my first load for the week. It was a crazy situation last night. Amazon's rules are changing, and if you break the rules, they ban you from coming into the facility. So story time. So I got up last night, got ready to go to the Amazon facility. I usually end up being there 30 minutes to 45 minutes early. Get there right on time like I normally am. Go to check in at the guard shack, give them my ID for my load, head to the back, park the truck at my door, go to the turnstiles to use my badge to swipe in because I got a permanent badge. Lo and behold, it wouldn't let me in. So I'm standing there. I try it several times and I'm lit like, what's going on? Why isn't my badge letting me in? And then something said in my head, your badge has to work. They can't have shut your badge off because you haven't done anything. So one of the ladies, I called over to her. She said, "Oh, your badge is not working?" And I said, "Yeah." So she starts walking around and trying to get people to, she was on the radio talking to the main security at the front. And then I'm standing there, probably 10 minutes had went by. And another lady comes through and she's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" I was like, "Yeah, my badge is not working." And she says, "Oh yeah, you're banned." And I'm like, "Banned? How am I banned?" "Well, you blew through the gate. The rules have changed. Now every truck has to stop on the way out. It used to be if the gate goes up, just go through. Well, now as of a week ago, they said you have to stop, turn your engine off and stop at the gate for the guard shack to get checked out now." So this was Friday. And I remember Friday because it just happened. So on Friday, what happened was I went to the gate. I was the first one at the gate. So the gate never went up. I stopped at the gate. I looked at the guy and then he opens the gate for me. There was a guy behind me as well. He came through the gate with me, but they only had my license plate. So apparently they gave the guard check guy gave them my information saying that I blew through the gate. And I was like, "No, you can go check that security footage. I did not blow through the gate." So Amazon's rules are really changing right now. And if you break them, being that I don't have drivers and I drive for myself, it can really mess up your operation. Another thing they started banning people on is if you use your badge to check somebody else in, meaning you hand it back through and let him come through too, automatic, you're out of there. You can't enter the facility if you do that. So the security lady, she's telling me there's nothing she can do. It usually takes about a day to rectify the situation if you weren't the one that did it. And I'm like, well, now they're gonna blame me and basically punish me for missing my load for the night if I can't get in the day. And so it's funny because when she came up, she looked at me and she said, I knew you didn't blow through that gate. You don't even look like the type that blows through the gate." And she said, "I just felt it in my spirit that you didn't blow through that gate." And I was like, "Ma'am, I am not lying to you. You can go in that footage and look and see that I stopped and there was somebody behind me and he came through with me." And so she actually started working some magic, and I appreciate her 100% because she started working some magic and she called the main security people and they were like, "Nah, there's nothing we can do." But she called another guy and he's like, "Oh yeah, they could reverse it." And so she called him back and she said, "Hey, I believe this guy. He didn't blow through the gate." And I was telling her, this is my company. Why am I sitting there trying to break the rules? Who am I breaking the rules for? These are your rules. I'm going to follow them. So she actually got back on the horn with the main security company, and it took another 10 minutes or so, but she was able to get them to reverse me. Crazy part is another guy had just walked up and his badge wouldn't work either. And when she asked him, she said he gave her the impression that, yeah, he did blow through the gate. So she said, "I can help you," but he was like, "Don't worry about it," and pretty much left, So I'm glad she was there to help, because if not, then it would be a whole nother issue to try and get this rectified, that I would miss a load or I would have to reject a load, and then it'd be my fault. Then my score would tank and then early access is gone, and it's just been a whole issue. But so she was able to get me straight last night and I was able to take my load. I was actually running a little late, so it kind of ate up my little 30-minute early window that I'm there, which is why if you're going to do Amazon, you really need to be there early and on time. So that really just like blew me for a minute, but then she was able to fix it. So everything's all good. I'm not going to do too much complaining about it. So I have what, 5 more loads to do this week, one up until Friday morning. So yeah, I tell you, this Amazon stuff can be stressful. That's why it's not good to have all your eggs in one basket, because this stuff can be so stressful. And at any time they change their rules, if you don't, kind of like right now, they're changing the rules that if you don't have an A or A+, you no longer get early access. I have a B right now, which by the time it kicks in, which is next month, I will have an A, but right now I have a B. So if it were to kick in right now, I'd be out of early access. So, you know, it's just a lot of stuff to it. And the rules that they're setting, it just gets to be too much at times when it can be a lot more simple. And on top of that, mind you, Amazon is not paying top dollar for their loads. It might seem that way, but mind you, we actually have to physically touch the freight. So they're paying a price for us touching the freight, but we don't get paid to actually touch the freight. So it's not actually the best of deals in town, even though still Amazon's the best thing smoking for a box truck. It really is. Okay, so now that that fiasco is behind me, and hopefully when I go there tonight, I won't have any issues. I can just take my loads because I follow all the rules. So just make sure you're following the rules out there for Amazon, and because things are probably going to get real hectic and they can really stop your money if that's what you're trying to do, or if that's what you're trying to start with, especially when you're in your 30, 60 to 90 day period before, because a lot of the brokers don't like to mess with young authorities. So if you're in that period and you're trying to do Amazon, just 100% check yourself and keep your nose clean. I ordered that piece for the truck, and it actually came in yesterday, but I wasn't able to put it on because it's starting to rain and cats and dogs out here. So this is the new part. Let's go ahead and put her on. That's the old part. You basically got to take these 2 clips off, take this electrical connection off, and these 2 bolts, and it's out. Little FYI when replacing this part, these clips right here, the way they come out, you got to take them all the way out to get these fittings off. Once you take that out, they just kind of slide right out. Good little tool to have. There's a little tool that kind of hooks around these. I get these for like $5 at Harbor Freight. So I took the electrical clip off, got both hoses off. Now I can put in the new part. So it goes just like that, just like the old one. It's best to take it off first and then take these off, because you got to get to the reverse. One's facing forward and the other one's facing backwards. So if you have to tackle a job like this is something easy anybody can do, no real force, 10mm bolts. This is another one of those maintenance things you can do by yourself. And somebody would charge you an arm and a leg for this, even for the diagnostic. Usually it's like $100 or $200 just for a OBD2 style diagnostic on a truck if your check engine light is on. All right, so we replaced the part. Best case scenario is that it turns the check engine light off and everything is good. Worst case scenario, check engine light stays on, but then I get to see what else could possibly be in line for that particular code that was read out on the ELD. So let's go ahead and give it a start and see what happens. As you can see, the check engine light did not go off. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I probably have to drive it a little bit to make sure it's functioning, because I just replaced a part and it has to hit on the road. It has to get on the road to make sure everything is operating correctly. So I was hoping it would go off immediately, but most likely I got to drive a little bit to get it to turn off. But when I go out tonight, I got to go about 170 miles. So in that time frame, I should know something. And what I'll do is I'll also go on the ELD and make sure that it's still reading just that one code that it was showing. And if it is, then I know that's still the issue. Not really the issue, the part's been replaced, but most likely I'm gonna have to do a little bit of driving. So my check engine light is still on. Come to find out, I'm gonna have to get a code reader to actually turn it off. On the way in, I spoke with the guard shack guy, and he said, I don't have to turn my engine off, but I do have to stop, which that's what I've been doing. So just make sure you stay on your P's and Q's out here. because it's like they're trying to eliminate some of these box trucks. So as I come around here, now the gate went up automatically, but I want to make sure he sees me. All right, I had to double check. I actually left the gate closed because I didn't want him to, as soon as I got to the gate, it opened up. I'm not blowing through anything, only for them to give me a rejection. So the gate actually closed again. I had him open it again just to make sure he sees me. If you ever come to Virginia, definitely worth checking out Shenandoah National Park. I'm here in Luray right now. We got Luray Caverns, one of the most beautiful indoor cave systems in America. Very beautiful spot. So after driving for a little while, I looked at the ELD to see what was going on with my check engine lights, and I got 4 more codes that popped up. But for some reason, it won't let me see them right now. So I have a fix. One of my codes that popped up is the electrical gremlins that popped up some time ago that keeps cutting off my lights, and it actually cut my lights off while I was driving last night, so I had to pull over and finagle with it to cut it back on. I actually have a burnt pin in that clip over there, so I have a fix for that I'm gonna try and do after I wake up later on in the day, because I just finished dropping off. But I got to figure out how to get the other codes off, or once I get back to my computer I possibly can see the other codes, because it's not popping up on my phone to see the other codes. And I can't turn the main check engine light off because the other check engine light came on. But the engine, I actually think I went through a regen process last night, because my fuel economy got better, the power got better, and the engine is actually running really smooth. It's running really nice and very powerful. So I actually think the engine is not the problem. It's something electrical and sensors and things like that. You know how that goes with when it comes to engines. You fix one thing and other things break. So, or get exposed, I should say. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see what's going on with the rest of these codes that popped up, and they're most likely sensors, and I'll just get them and replace them. But as far as the engine goes, it's going real good. As far as my maintenance goes, I guess I'm just chasing electrical issues right now. So my day is done, and I will keep everybody posted on what I find electrically with this truck that's causing my check engine light to come on, but I don't think it's an engine issue. And I will keep you guys posted, and see you in the next video. Peace.